Good afternoon. So we have started with the concept of regression, the different type of regression last time, and we have seen the linear regression. We talked about the multiple regression also, and logistic. Also, logistic regression is a special type of linear regression, which is unification. We have seen the logit function, sigmoid functions, which are used for creating a classifier. That's what the logistic regression is. Let's talk about many more of it. There's one more concept called as LDA, linear discriminant analysis, which is a type of regression there. And one of the method which is used for classification as well as for the dimensionality reductions also. See, discriminant analysis, it is used for classifying observations to the class or category based on predictor variables of the data. It's one of the method which creates a model to predict future observation where the class is known, and there's a linear discriminants are used by which it's possible to do the predictions or predictive analytics here. So it's come to rescue situation where logistic regression is unstable. That time we can use linear discriminant analysis to do predictive analytics on the classification data set. Classes are separated and they are well separated, or data is small, or when we have more than two classes. So that this particular kind of situations, logistic regression doesn't perform the operation well. So that case we can use linear discriminant analysis also. Okay, so let's go with another different methods that regression algorithms are contained. See, we have seen in regression analysis in maybe a second unit how to analyze the regression algorithms, how to find the errors present in linear regression there. See, the loss that we are getting, error function that we have with y and y hat. Y is the original data, y hat is the predicted data. Original data and the predicted data, and their difference, with the help of that, finding that difference and using that difference ahead, we are making use of this particular data, and accordingly we are going to identify the effectiveness of a respective algorithm there. Fine. Now this is the common loss function. See, so by using L1 norm or L2 norm, we have talked about L1 norm and L2 norm also. If you want to decrease this loss, so we'll be making use of a loss function with this. Loss is equal to error between y and y hat plus then L1 norm is applied there. Lambda into summation of all the values with wi for elements starting from I is equal to 1 till n. That is L1 norm we have seen it's applied. It's just like Manhattan calculation method is all are added with the lambda multiplication factor. And we use L2 as that is L2 norm, that is W square, that is weight square, and according the loss calculate. Fine. So two methods are the L1 regularization and L2 regularization, which are used here to minimize the loss. If you are adding this term, so loss will be minimized, and this particular method is used to solve the problem of the overfitting. We have talked about overfitting also. Overfitting, where we are going to have the data perfectly trained, means training data is 100% working, but testing data is not having the accuracy there. That is called as the overfitting. So to minimize that loss, regression methods are modified with the help of the L1 regularization or L2 regularization there. Now let's see the first one, that is L1 regularization. Now again, modified version of regression is present, that's called as ridge regression. So ridge regression is a regression model that uses L1 regularization technique. It's called lasso regression, and the model which uses L2 regularization technique is called as ridge regression. See, the error term is modified. In that, we are just adding the norms L1 regularization, L2 regularization there. Now we have seen this error term, and the key difference between both is the penalty term, which is given as the addition there. So ridge regression adds squared magnitude of coefficient as penalty term to the loss function. Okay, squared magnitude, that is ridge regression adds. That is what we call as the L2 regularization. And lasso regression, it uses the term as it is. So highlighted part, see this one. The same thing I just mentioned here, the error term is added with the L2 regularization, the square term. So here the lambda is 0. when you can imagine when we are getting the ordinary least square methods there. However, if lambda is very high, then it will add too much weight and will lead to underfitting. So having said that, it's important how lambda is chosen. This technique works very well to avoid the overfitting issue. Okay, that error term is added here according to the cost function is created. Now, apart from that, this is a special method, special way of creation of the regression, ridge regression there. The second is lasso. Actually, lasso is the first regression method. Lasso regression, that is least absolute shrinkage and selection operator, lasso. It's an absolute value of magnitude, just like which is used in the L1 regularization terminology, L1 norm. So of coefficient as penalty term to the loss function, exactly same method that we can see here, but the loss function is added with L1 norm. So in this case also, if lambda is 0, then it will get back to OLS, ordinary least square, exactly same way. It's very large value which make coefficient 0, hence it will be underfitted. Okay, like that. This is what the concept lasso regression there. So these two terminologies, even not only ridge and lasso, there is one more method is there. But before that, let's see another the comparison between ridge regression and lasso regression. The key difference between this technique is that lasso shrink less important features coefficient to 0, thus removing some features altogether. So this works well for feature selection in case we are having huge number of features. That time lasso regression perform a great operation on it. Fine. And combining both together, there is another method of regression present, and that is called as the elastic net regression. Elastic net is a popular type of regularized linear regression that combines two popular penalties, specifically L1 and L2 penalties function. L1 penalty and L2 penalty both are combined, and here we actually use one hyperparameter called as alpha, which is provided to assign how much weight is given to each L1 and L2 penalties. So elastic net is a combination of L1 regularization and L2 regularization also. And for this case, alpha, the hyperparameter, is a value between 0 and 1, which is used to weight the contribution of the L1 penalty, and 1 minus the alpha value is used to weight the L2 penalty. See, that which is used here in the loss function is elastic net penalty. You can see this alpha into L1 penalty plus 1 minus alpha into L2 penalty. This is elastic net penalty. Elastic net penalty is there. Elastic net function is added there by using the L1 term and L2 term. Both are combined there. And with the help of it, the elastic net regularization technique is used. So with elastic net, now we can see how much, what exactly function is present. The third kind of regularized regression, ridge, then lasso, and then we have the elastic net regression. With the help of it, it's possible to reduce the effect of overfitting. These methods are basically used for regularization methods there. Okay. So before proceeding further, I'll show you a small example of it, how these regularization methods are used in the actual practice. Okay, in the actual practice. Just a minute, I'll show you the code. Wait a minute. So last time we have seen one example of linear regression where we are having input outputs given there. Okay, and polynomial regression also we have seen one example. With the help of that polynomial regression, we have seen how do we use the particular model in curve fashion. That's possible there. But maybe when you are using a polynomial regression, that time what happens? Which is present in data is very high. Errors in the data is very high. Though we are getting training perfectly, means training error, or sorry, training accuracy is great, but the accuracy which is there for testing data is very small. So what exactly we call it as is a effect of overfitting. It's an effect of overfitting, and to reduce that effect of overfitting, we are going to make use of this regularization method. So just a minute, I'll just show you with a small example how it's possible to have the regularization technique presented here. Okay, we'll carry with the similar example, or we'll just check it out. Just a minute. So just check this code. Okay. Create a small new file here, and we'll be making use of a concept of some technique. Just a minute. I'll show the data set which is used for this particular operation here. So by using regression practically, it will be easy to understand. Just a minute. So there's a very popular data set called as Boston housing. In that, the house price prediction in the city of Boston is done. So I'll show you that data set here, and with the help of it, it's possible to do the predictive analytics on this. See, so I'm having one small data set here. Let's see this. This is what I using the. I'll just say it. That's housing. See this. I'm here. A Twain data set, Boston housing.csv. I'll view that. See, if I imported this data set, and this data set contains some state of in the city of Boston. Okay, if it is visible here, take it. Fine. So these are the columns. So this data set is basically created for the regression method. MEDV, this is the output variable, this one, the last one. This is the output variable presented here, and remaining others are the input variables. So the cost of that house, and remaining other the parameter by which you're going to give as an input there. Okay, different kind of parameters are there. MEDV is your output variable, which is shown over here. Okay, the last column, MEDV, is the output variable. Fine. Now let's build the algorithm for the same linear regression algorithm, and then we'll talk about the data or the accuracy of the data set on accuracy of the algorithm on this kind of data. So let's see this. I am taking the all other columns. See, every column as input, and the MEDV as the output. See this one. So from the data set, I have dropped the MEDV column. This is access means it's a column. Okay, it's an input variable. So remaining others are taken as input, just like just check this one. I've taken out except the MEDV column. It's not there. MEDV output variable which I'm storing into the Y variable there. Which I'm storing into the Y variable. So we just can check it and see shape of how many rows are there, columns are there. So 506 rows and 13 columns are present in this data set. You can see this one. Okay. Now, let's build a linear regression algorithm, multiple regression basically on this data. So building multiple regression. So let's import the class, and then we will build the model of this linear regression onto it. So check it out. I imported this, and we will create the object of this particular data, and then we will train the algorithm with the given data set. Okay, it's importing. The example we have seen last time. See, LR is the object that I have created regression. Okay, sorry. Before that, I need to split the data into the train test format. So to split that data, just like cross validation that we require. I'm importing, and after that, we will split the data maybe into 70-30 format, and then we will build the algorithm. So here in the test split, okay, and after that, I'm splitting my data into two different formats, that is testing data and training data. So training data is 70%, testing data is data. I have, so if you see data is containing multiple inputs, n number of inputs are there, and the one output variable. Okay, so MEDV is the output variable, and based on that, we have created the model for the given data set. Okay, so model is created, and we have fitted also. We have trained the algorithm also, and now see, we will find the R2 score of it. Okay, so to find this R2 score, that is your accuracy. R2 score is the accuracy of algorithm. It should be 100%, that is 1.0. So we'll identify the accuracy of this algorithm there. So see, so what I've done here now, training accuracy, LR dot score. So score is a function by which the R2 score is calculated for training data. So here you can see the object I'm using here, and then I'm passing this data as input. Training data as input. We have built the algorithm on the same training data. We are passing that training data as input, and then we are finding the score on testing data also. So I'm checking accuracy for the training data, and I'm checking accuracy for the testing data both, and I'll be printing it now. Now you can see this one. Training accuracy is 76%, and testing accuracy is 67.33% is present there. Fine. That is R2 score that we are having. I'm multiplying by 100. So R2 score is actually 0.76 and 0.67 for testing accuracy. But see, it may be possible that because of linear regression, the accuracy is less, because maybe. So we may use polynomial regression also. Polynomial regression, where we are going to make use of the method. Okay, going to make use of the method of the degree, polynomial degree applied. We can apply that, and accordingly we can identify the accuracy also. Here we can make use of the mean absolute error, that can also be found. Even mean squared error can also be found. Root mean squared error can also be found. But we'll focus on the idea of accuracy only, that is R2 score. Okay, so we are having only R2 score, and with the help of that R2 score, we can identify how exactly it's possible to build the algorithms. Okay, so this is what we are going to make use of the linear regression. Accuracy is very less, so I can apply the polynomial regression now. I can apply the polynomial regression now. So to apply the polynomial regression, we have to use the polynomial features here. So let's see this. So I'm importing the polynomial features class. It's imported, and now we will apply the polynomial features with the help of a pipeline. I've created 3 steps I have combined. First step is 3 steps are there. First, I have created the scalar object, means whatever data I'm using, I'll normalize that data. We'll talk about normalization also separately here. And created the object of it here. Then we have created the model of exactly polynomial method is shown here. Is scalar, turn the normalization object is created. Then polynomial features is created, regression object is created like this. Okay, These are now present. These are now, you can see this one. Now, these steps I have combined, and then I will create a pipeline of all of them. There's a pipeline in learning with the help of particular operations can be combined together. Okay, enough time. And then when they, so here the pipeline is created, pipeline is a pipeline steps like that, and train the algorithm the given data. When I create line like, just a minute, I'll the presentation and start again. It is not visible maybe. So understanding practically is very important to know. So just remember that. That's why showing the things practically over here. See this. Yeah. Now this is what the polynomial features I imported, and why it's required, because we have seen in polynomial regression when you apply the data that will be polynomially transformed from 1 degree to n degree polynomial there, polynomial features. Okay, and then we use the standard scaler. So first of all, you have to scale the data, then we apply the polynomial features here. After that, we create the linear regression, and here I'm creating a pipeline. So pipeline is the class which is used to combine all these data together, all these steps at the time. Okay, the object of it, fine. And after that, I am training the pipeline with the given data here. Fine, just spit it. So pipeline object is created, and with the help of this object, now I can find the accuracy. It's trained already. Now it means that this pipeline has performed this operation, this operation, this operation. It means it has created the polynomial regression here. Okay, and now let's see the accuracy of the polynomial regression on this data. See, so I am using degree 2 only. So if you just check in linear regression, we got 76 accuracy in training data and 67% in the testing data, correct? Now for this case, you can see, yes, check it out. So the accuracy of the training data here is 95.16% and testing data is 64.63%. See that. I just applied it there and you can see. So what it called as, this is called as the overfitting. Overfitting, where the training accuracy is at high stage and testing accuracy is very low. Testing accuracy is 64% only. So there is the difference of 30% present. The difference of 30% is present herein. Okay, 95 and 64. So creating a concept of overfitting. So as I told, regularized regression methods, ridge regression, lasso regression, or elastic net regression, they are used to remove or reduce the effect of overfitting basically. So whenever you have to create a perfect robust algorithm, it is required to ensure that our algorithm is regularized or not. So let's apply the first method, that is L1 regularization. So to apply the L1 regularization is present with the help of the ridge. Okay, so let's import both of these. We are having the ridge regression class also and the lasso regression class also. So I'm importing that here. Check this. So from sklearn, again from scikit-learn's linear model, I'm importing the ridge regression, and sklearn's linear model, I'm importing the lasso regression here. Okay, so both are imported. So one by one we will apply. First of all, I'll apply the ridge regression. Okay, so for that purpose also I'll create some steps. See the steps which are created above, the same steps are created here, but the difference is that here I'm creating the standard scalar polynomial features, and then instead of linear regression I'm creating a ridge object, ridge regressions object. Okay, whose object is ridge here, which I'm passing alpha value. So you just can see we have talked about the alpha value already. So alpha value I kept as 10. Okay, whose default value is 1.0. So I kept it 10, and fit intercept means I want intercept or not. So that's what I mentioned. So I want intercept whose value value hyperparameter I kept true. It means that I want to generate the intercept also. Okay, that's mentioned there. Fine. Done. So update is created. Now, after that, we will create the object of it and then we will train the algorithm with the given data. So see this one. Created the object and have trained the data also. See that. So reach is equal to 5 steps I conjugate in feed. Explain I train. Fine. And after the update, so we have fitted it. And now let's see the accuracy for this case also. So using polynomial features, just added the penalty term, loss function, and accordingly you can calculate it. Same method which we are used above. In the above examples, I am showing over here training accuracy for reach training accuracy and the testing accuracy. And you can see this one. It is 93% training and testing accuracy 79% is there. So the gap between the training and testing accuracy is reduced here. Okay. Training and testing accuracy's gap is reduced much. Fine. So it was 95 and the 65 means 30 gap was there, 30% gap was present. Now it is reduced to 14% only. Check this. Only 14%. Testing accuracy is improved because of adding the penalty function with the help of ridge regression. So the gap is reduced. That is, it is now 14% present in between both. So the effect of overfitting is reduced by 21%. The effect of overfitting is reduced by 21% almost. Fine. This is what the advantage of the regularized regression, ridge regression there. Now let's go with the another method, that is the lasso regression. For lasso regression also, I will create the similar kind of steps here. See this. So the steps I have okay. Now same way, only some changes I have made here. Here I am using the model lasso regression. So where L1 norm is used in the cost function. Alpha value point fit intercept is 2. Okay. And after that, we will create the object of it also. So let's create the object of it and train the algorithm given data. So let's create a pipeline for the same. Just a minute. Yes, fine. Lasso fitted. So the object create now and created, and now see accuracy of the. Now let's see the accuracy regression. Same method that we are using for the ridge and polynomial, that also we can over here. Just a minute, taking time, I think. Yeah. Let's print the accuracies for the both for training and testing. Yes. Now it's printed. See this? Okay. So I got the accuracy of both. Now I got the training accuracy. Training accuracy is 87% and testing accuracy 76%. Now see the gap in training and testing is again reduced, and gap is now only 11%. 11%. 76 and 87. It was 14% in the ridge regression, and in lasso regression the gap is reduced again to 11% only. 87 test training accuracy, testing accuracy 76%. So you can see how different regularization methods in the regression techniques are reducing the gap or reducing the effect of the accuracy, reducing effect of the overfitting basically. Fine. And if you come to the last part, that is the third kind of regression, that is that regression called as elastic net regression. Elastic net regression. So let's see that one. I'll import the elastic net regression also, which is present in the same package of linear regression again. See this. So I imported the elastic net, and similar kind of methods that we have seen above I will apply. I have shown the formula for elastic net also, how the loss functions calculated there. So using that formula, it's a combination there with the combination of L1 and L2 norm. It is using that. So see steps I embedded. scalar update is created, then polynomial features degree 2, then model with elastic net alpha 0.1 I have kept. This is trial and error method I have used by which the alpha value are set. So maybe it will be time consuming to explain. So just by trial and error, I just check what alpha value should be present. So fit intercept equal true. So all these steps I have combined together, and elastic net object will be created. So let's create an elastic net object by using the pipeline of all. See, yes. So I got the result. Now I got the object. I fitted it, trained it, and now let's see difference between the accuracies of elastic net. Yes, see. Training accuracy is 91% and testing accuracy is 81%. The data which is unknown to it, on that the accuracy is improved a lot. Now using elastic net we are getting highest accuracy on the testing data. The difference between both is now 10% only, which have started with 35% to 14 to 10, sorry, 14 to 11 to 10, like that. So overfitting concept is again effect is again reduced by using elastic net regression. This is what we call as the elastic net regression. This technique is used. Okay, so for elastic net we are using the L1 penalty as well as for the L2 penalty also combining together, and you can see, check out the example with the help of it how possible to reduce the effect of overfitting. Effect of overfitting can be reduced by this particular method by using this way here. Okay, fine. So let's continue. These three different categories of regressions are also there. So as per a requirement, we can choose the respective regression methods. Okay, so which one is required, which is giving high accuracy, which is giving high or great performance to us. Accordingly, we have to choose it, and we'll perform the operations of building the most powerful model of regression using the respective data here. Now let's see the elastic net. Okay, that's what elastic penalty we have seen, alpha into L1 penalty plus 1 minus alpha into L2 penalty. With the elastic net penalty is added into the cost function, loss function. Fine. So yes, so let's continue. Issue with another kind of regression method, which is very interesting to see that yes. Okay. Yeah, so you have seen elastic net. Now let's see the robust regression. Robust regression is not a type of regression. Under that, there's a special method present in it. Okay, so let's see. So in some of the techniques, we have talked about the consider outliers. Outlier is the data which is far away from the crowd, which does not follow the properties of the crowd. So the common problem with linear regression is caused by the presence of outliers. It's a presence of outliers. The outliers are present in the data set. In that case, there is some problem that may happen in. So common problem with regression is caused by presence of outliers. The ordinary least square approach will take them into account, and the result in terms of coefficient will be therefore biased. So see this. If I'm having something like this, so data set is like that. Here some data is there, here some data is there. Now, if I build an linear regression model, this green line which is shown here, that will be plotted. That we can say it's an averaging line of all of these points. But basically, as per the rule of data science, so this can be considered as the outlier. These are far away from the crowd. Here 80% data is there, here 20% data is present, which are away from the crowd. So they are called as the outliers. Now this outliers effect means I want this model perfect effect. So basically in data science, we have to apply or use some outlier detection techniques. Some technique that generally we follow, let's say isolation forest or K-means clustering, or we can use one class SVM. This technique can be used to reduce the effect of outliers. But for regression, there is no special technique present. So the method which we use here, it's a ransack method, ransack regression. With the help of ransack regression, it's possible to reduce this problems of it. Okay, it's possible to reduce the problem of the outliers present. Okay, this is the last method that we'll talk, and then we'll go with the theoretical concept connected to the regression methods here. So robust regression is this one. Okay, we'll check a simple effect of the robust regression now. How the robust regression can be created. The Ransack regressor is used for the same purpose here. So let's see this one simple by practical application how exactly this is done, that we will identify, and we'll see the effect of the robust regression now. Outliers which are far away from the crowd, the element which are away from the crowd, so they are considered, they are deleted from the data, and for remaining data which is not containing outliers, okay, that will be considered for finally creating the object. So I'll use the similar kind of data here, the data which is used here in the ridge regression also, okay, that we will see. So just a minute. We'll use that data, and 1:1 connectivity we'll use, because that case it will be easy to perform the operation there. The data set that we use Boston housing, all inputs were taken, but let's take only one output here, sorry, one input here. So we'll talk about that, just a minute. Yes. See, yeah. So the data frame that we are having here, frame DF. Okay. So in that data frame, you can see this. See, there is a column. Okay, I'll use that column here. There's a column called as the RM. These rooms. Just a minute. See, yeah, this one, RM, number of rooms. Okay, so number of rooms can be the input variable RM, and the MEDV, which is the last column, which is the output variable. Okay, let's consider RM against the MEDV. RM against the MEDV. We'll use that one. So what I'll do, in X, I will keep the RM. So I'll just reshape this, because I've seen this effect last time also. It required data to be in two-dimensional format, and Y is equal to MEDV. Okay, so X and Y are separated, and we'll create a simple linear regression model onto it. So let's see this. Simple linear regression model. And with this, we can check the accuracy of this data also, and we can identify. Okay, so before that, I'll just show you the data into the graphical plot format. So here we'll import the matplotlib, and then we will see the plot of this data, like DF of RM against the MEDV. So by that particular plot, we can identify whether the data is linearly connected or not. Yeah, it is train DF. Now see the plot. Yeah, you can see the data is gathered in a group, but it's okay that on x-axis if you see RM, number of rooms, and y-axis we are having MEDV, the cost of it. So as rooms are increasing, cost is increasing, but still there are some outliers present. See, this is outliers. If you see the line is plotted like that in the center, but these are the outliers which are away from the crowd. This one, many are there, they are the outliers. This effect is present inside this. Now if you build the object of it, so by this diagram you can easily identify there are many different kind of outliers are present. Okay, many different kind of outliers are present in it. So let's see one concept. So we need to create the object of linear regression. So I'm importing linear regression, and then we will create the object of it. See this. Yeah. So from linear regression, again, sorry, from sklearn, I'm importing linear regression. This object is created and fitted. Fine. Object is created and I have fitted that data which I have read from it. And now let's see let's do one thing. So I'm plotting it original plot. Okay, so I'm plotting original plot again, and then regression plot. See that, simple. On X side we have the input RM. Okay, and on Y side we'll have the MEDV, and you can see this. This is the averaging line present in both. Okay, so scatter plot, this one, the blue one, and the plot X against predicted X, the center line, which is averaging of all, but it is considering the outliers also. The data which is present here, that is also considered while building the equation. Correct. This is your line, and let's talk about the accuracy of this particular object. Now if you use the score function again, just like previously we have seen, let's see this. Let's create a score function. Check, 48% accuracy is present in it. 48% accuracy. Because though it's looking like they're incrementing linearly, but there are too much outliers present in this. That outliers are reducing the effect of linear regression onto it. So to overcome this problem, so special robust regression method is used, and that robust regression method is called as the ransack regression. Called as the ransack regression. And now let's see how the ransack regression will work. So again, see, so from sklearn dot linear model, I'm importing the ransack regressor. Yeah, so ransack regressor we have imported. It is used to find or remove the effect of outliers. This creating the object of it. Ransack is the object created there. Okay, and let's create the object, or sorry, object is created. Let's train the algorithm with given data. See, so on X and Y we have trained the algorithm with the given data, and let's do one thing. See, the thing that we have seen above. Okay, see the thing that we have seen above in the linear model. So I'll use this. Okay, and let's see the effect of both of these lines. So scatter plot, color red, and I'll apply the label as linear regression. Reg.predict, color red. Okay, and let's have another plot. Plot X against ransack dot predict. So second is ransack predict, where the color will keep green, and label is ransack. Now see, check out the effect of both now. Here small variation that we are getting between these two lines, you can see this one, very small variation is there, green line and then the red line. See that here the green line is there, this is the red line. The red line is for linear regression, okay, and the green line is for the ransack regression. Okay, so data set is not having these outliers are there, but there's a balance of outliers are present above and below. Fine, small balance of that outliers are present in between here in it, and by this, these two different kind of lines can be drawn separately. See that this is the common method that we can use to check the ransack regression. Now see, basically for ransack regression, I can remove the outliers, means the outliers which are present there. So there is a concept called as inlier mask. See, I'm importing the NumPy and then inlier mask, ransack dot inlier mask, means the element which are inliers which are not outliers, which are not away from the crowd, that we can extract using the in-layer mask variable here, in-layer mask underscore variable here, which I have taken from the in-layer mask data, and then inverse of it is done by using np.logical not in-layer mask. Logical not means whatever the value which are true, that will become false, and false will become true. The inverse operation is done there, and accordingly we can extract the data, which is not inlier, which is outliers. And now let's see the effect of both. So in this code, first of all, I'm plotting the data in inlier mask format. This is inlier mask, whose color is steel blue, I mentioned. Edge color is white. And for the outlier mask, okay, which I'm printing here with lime green color, edge color is white, and the label is given as outliers. And you can see this result now. Check it out. So it is data. Wait, this figure size is not required. We'll use the standard figure size. See, in this data, the element which are considered, which are shown in the green color, they are outliers, and the element which are shown in the blue color, they are the inliers. Means for this data, this green are the outliers, which are away from the crowd, and the data which follows the property of linear regression line, they are this one. And if you plot the line, see, if you plot this ransack line here, I plot the ransack line. Can check this now. At the center of this point only, which are blue color, at the center of this line only, this line is drawn. This one. Means remaining other data, while drawing this red line, the data which is in green color is not considered. The data which is in green color is not considered. Remember, without using that data, the red line is drawn from here at the center of it. Fine, this is done. And if I want to check the accuracy, so I'll check the accuracy for this in-layer mask only. Means, for example, let's have ransack dot score, and only which is in-layer, which is not outlier. The data we will apply here and check. 86% accuracy is there. Accuracy 86%, which was 48% on original data. And now for this data, the accuracy is 86%, which I have applied, and you can see that here. So outlier detection is internally done with the help of the robust regression method like ransack. Okay, with the help of that robust regression method, ransack, it detects the outliers, it removes that, and for the data which are inliers, only that data is considered for building the regression model. Fine. Only the data is considered for building the regression model. Fine. That's it. This is what the robust regression method is. The outlier detection is done, and with outlier detection, the outliers are not considered while building the model, which are away from the crowd, and a robust method is created. So by using that, you can achieve moderate accuracy. See, with outlier accuracy of 48%, and now it is increases drastically to 86% with the help of the ransack regression method. Okay, so this is what the different kind of regression. I few more are there. Remember, regressions are lot many techniques. Statistical technique regressions are very much not many available. There is one more regression technique. Okay, I'm not added into the presentation there, but if you just check out the idea, means just a minute, we'll see this one. See, the example that we have seen for linear regression, it was the salary data. See that, for example, if you build the data and if you read this data of salary, just a minute, check it, pd dot read csv, see, salary data. Okay, fine. In that salary data, I'm having input as salary, that is df of years experience, sorry, dot values, and okay, y is equal to, see this, Okay, so this is what we have done, and even we have plotted it also. Okay, so let's build a linear regression model of it. The REG is equal to linear regression. Okay, REG dot fit x comma y. Okay, it's fitted, and now let's plot it. Okay, PLT dot scatter. Okay, let's see x against y. So this is original data, and then on that, if you want to plot the data, x against reg predict of x is, you can have the color is equal to, see, fine, this is what your linear regression is. And if you check the accuracy of this particular data, this particular algorithm, it is maybe 95%. Okay, that's great. 95% accuracy is there for this data set. Just we have seen common simple linear regression. We'll talk about that also in simple linear regression in theory fashion. Okay, this is what simple linear regression. Now there's one more technique called as isotonic regression. I'll show you. See this one, isotonic, which is not included in the presentation. And if you have to use isotonic regression now, so what I'll do, I'll just use a class here. So from again, it exactly feed the data. Exactly feeds the data. See. Just a minute. Yes, it's an isotonic package actually. Yeah. See, isotonic I'm imported here, and its object I will create. See, isotonic regression. Okay, this object is created here. Then we will fit it. Okay, done. Isotonic object is fitted. And now let's see what isotonic regression has actually done. It's created, and I'll compare that with the linear regression. So plot x against reg dot, sorry, ISO dot predict x. Let's have a color magenta. See, isotonic regression. It is perfectly fitting this, almost perfectly fitting that. With whatever lines are present, okay, whatever the, wait a minute, I'll put it green. See, whatever points that in that, so almost all the points are covered by that particular line. See, here, almost, can see, this particular pattern is created by the isotonic regression, the green one. Is almost all the points are covered in this. But few points are some are away, but this lines, the not perfect line, this is called as isotonic. Isotones are there, which are created with the help of it. Not exactly curve, but the point connecting lines are created. But the problem here is that for isotonic regression, you can see isotonic regression's example score. See, 99% accuracy for isotonic. But the problem is that isotonic regression can predict the value between minimum and maximum value of input only. Minimum value is 1 for the input TS expression, maximum value 10.5. See, for example, I want to predict isotonic regression. I want to predict how much salary I will get when I'm having experience 8 years. 1,04,000. Okay, 8 years. Or how much I'll get for 7 years, 2 years, that is 41,338. Almost it is matching with the data. That is 99% accuracy is there, because the model which is created is not perfectly linear. It is almost approaching all the data which is present in the training data. Fine. Now, but if you go to 12 years, now see 12, because original data, any value in original data and in between also. But above that is not possible. It's showing not a number. Above that, if I want to find a salary for let's say 4.8 years, I can identify that 4.8 because the value is in between minimum maximum. Any value, minimum value 1 year, maximum value 10.5 years experience. If it's present in between that range, then only it will predict it. Okay, that is isotonic regression present. So likewise, so as per the requirement of our model, our problem statement, we can use the regression method. That's what we want. Fine. So we'll continue with the remaining topic after taking a short break of 3 minutes. Thank you.